Webb knows this because I pointed it out in my response to his introduction of his new series, which I uploaded on May 9.
On Mission Telecommunications, the only station receiving radio transmissions was Parkes in Australia.
Parkes, Honeysuckle Creek, Goldstone and Madrid, all of which are part of NASA's Deep Space Network. Get it right.
Nope. Canberra, Jarrah. Goldstone, Canberra, and Madrid officially make up NASA's Deep Space Network. I got it right. Parkes is not in the list.
I can only guess that he is misrepresenting the statement I made about the Australian tracking stations being the only ones receiving the Apollo 11 moonwalk videos.
Tracking stations? Apollo 11? Perhaps I watched a different Exhibit D video series. The statement I'm referring to is this one.
So, if there was only one radio telescope in the world receiving these videos, then how could one verify whether the moonwalk videos were actually coming from space or from pre-filmed tapes that the Parkes Observatory was relaying to the world?
Did I misrepresent what Jarrah said? Videos, plural. From pre-filmed tapes, plural. Even if you include Goldstone, which Jarrah now admits was in a position to allegedly receive signals from the moon at the time, I still say it sounds like Jarrah is referring to multiple Apollo missions here.
Either way, whether it was just the Australian tracking stations who received the Apollo 11 moonwalk videos, or Australia and Goldstone who received the videos, it's immaterial. As I pointed out quite clearly in Exhibit D, the tracking stations in Goldstone, Australia, and also Madrid are all owned by NASA, and therefore are not independent parties, as the propagandists have claimed.
Canberra, Jarrah. Canberra. You keep saying Australia. Goldstone, Canberra, and Madrid are NASA-owned facilities. NASA does not own Australia, or even all the Australian radio telescopes. They do not own Parkes. Therefore, Parkes can be considered an independent party.
Webb not only commented on the video, but favorited it. Yet he went on to use this long since corrected mistake as part of his diatribe.
Here it is, the moment of truth. How will I possibly squirm out of this dreadful situation? When Jarrah's Fallacies video popped up in my subscriptions list, my heart fluttered a bit when I saw my name on a Jarrah White video. So, curious as to its content, I did open the present he sent and, against better judgment, began viewing it. It began with an outtake from my series introduction, where I stated that Jarrah had called 20 or so scientists and engineers liars. He then proceeded to say that he never called them all liars. I thought this was odd since I didn't say who is on the liars list, which is slated for my final summary video, so there was no way he could know who I was talking about. Jarrah then started talking about Bill Casing and how he said it was easy to fake moon rocks, which had nothing to do with calling anyone a liar. I assumed he was taking the direction that my statement was false because he considers Bill Casing an engineer, and Jarrah had never called him a liar. At that point, realizing this was going to be a total waste of my time, I abruptly paused the video, gave it a thumbs down, due to content of course, left my comment that I thought it was premature for young Jarrah to respond to a video series that hadn't even started yet, and then I made it a favorite to remind me to come back to it again later, just as I have other hoax videos I plan to respond to someday. Look at it from my perspective. Saying that he did not call the 20 or so scientists and engineers on my list liars because he thinks Bill Casing is a truthful engineer is at best a fallacy of not being able to stay on subject. That was enough for me. I didn't need to view the rest of the video because I knew it would be an utter distraction, and I didn't want to spend my time doing exactly what I'm doing now, batting down his responses to my videos until I had my entire series posted. Of course, there is another, more primitive reason I made his video about me a favorite. It had my name on it. I also made NASA's video on the Webb telescope a favorite because it had my name on it. Jarrah, of all people, should accept vanity as a legitimate excuse for adding a video to your favorites list, whether you watch it or not. Seriously, think about it. Why on earth would I waste my time putting together a video that tackles one of Jarrah's claims that I already knew he had half-heartedly confessed to being wrong about, especially one that I knew he had published videos about? Why do that when it's open season on literally hundreds of other claims that he hadn't already been called on the carpet for? It doesn't make sense. Doing that wouldn't be an act of lying. It would be an act of foolishness. And saying that he knows I watched any particular video is presumptuous on young Jarrah's part. It was a hasty conclusion, much like the hasty conclusions that I apologize for making in my third Von Braun video. Did he contact me and ask me if I had watched his Fallacies video? No. Did he leave a reply to my comment from a sock puppet account encouraging me to watch his Fallacies video? No. Instead, he blindly published a 4-part video series based on the false premise that I was patient enough to sit through 11 minutes of his rambling on about a video series he hadn't even seen yet. Get real, Jarrah. When I started critiquing his Exhibit D series, I vowed not to watch any of Jarrah's responses until I was done, so I wouldn't get distracted. After the initial peak, I was saving Jarrah's Fallacies video like a piece of candy for dessert, to go back and savor after I had my entire series posted and see how close he came to even guessing at what I was going to say on his 32 points. I honestly don't know what is in his Fallacies video past his initial inference about honest bell casing. Don't know, don't really care at this point. Ciao, moon hoax conspirators, wherever you are.